The reason I'm doing this one is I did, and there'll be a link down for the whole long videos I did on wound care in the past, and I'll probably revisit those as now with the Urban Prepper and more Prepper as well. Started to use those dressing, but I noticed that there was some people that are kind of buying stuff on and being confused with some of the products that I said, but I fully recommend people to watch the whole videos, because it would be a little bit like using a gun and saying, like, you know, in 5 minutes I have to explain to you. Yeah, sure, I can explain about the safe and everything and stuff, but with dressing is a little bit the same thing. There's a reason why to use the dressing and everything, and the not too wet, not too dry, and just the right amount is true, but there's always a logic behind every dressing that I use. But I wanted to do a quick memory aid on dressings, and so it'll be a quickie, but please go see the link if you have more questions, or you want to know more, and if you have questions, don't hesitate to put comments. So let's go. So the Alvelyn border, you'll see that in some dressing, and it could be other product as well, but basically any foam that you have, basically it's like a sponge. The purpose of this is when it's in the too wet period, and so basically you want to absorb that. Some of those comes as well with AG. So every time you see a dressing marked AG, it means that it has silver in it, so it's good for infection. We'll talk a little bit later about that. But basically, big sponge, a sponge, and that's the only purpose of those dressing, is to absorb the fluid. So if you have something that has a lot of liquid or a lot of drainage is going to, or expected a lot of drainage, those are the dressing that we go to. The Aquacel. So there's two Aquacels, so it's very important to make the difference. But the Aquacel normal, so non-AG, is a filler. Basically, the purpose of those is just like the dirt in the hole is. So you have the hole, which it would be your wound, and you put dirt inside. So this is what the Aquacel does, is that it fills that, and it does a little bit more than that. It does a little bit of absorption as well, and provides some wetness as well to the hole, so that it's not too dry, but it's in the middle. But the main part of an Aquacel is to fill that out. So if you have like a very superficial cut, those are not really good. But if you have like a deep hole like this, then yes, those are a little bit better. And then the Aquacel AG, so usually they're all in silver like this, or they're in the silver brand, or they have like that AG beside, which means silver. Those are little monster that eats infection. So when you talk about infections, this is when you use those ones. So that's why in burns we use this, because they're more susceptible for infection. But if you had like a normal cut, you wouldn't suspicious to be having infection, I wouldn't use the AG. I would go to the regular Aquacel. So they still prevent the normal Aquacel still prevent a little bit infection by kind of absorbing. It works on different level, like I was saying. It's a little bit like a Swiffer, so the infection kind of goes up. But really, when you have an infection, so it's confirmed that there's like oozings and things like that, then you want to go towards the AG. Tegaderm or any transparent dressing, it's basically like a tarp. The purpose of it, but a tarp that breathes, so more like a jacket with like something that breathes. So basically would let your transpiration goes out, but not on the water end. But basically this is what the purpose of this thing, and it doesn't have any absorption, doesn't have anything, but it's to protect whatever is under it. So it's a cover. That's the purpose of this, is to cover whatever you put under. But on himself, like on wounds or anything, doesn't have any properties beside covering it. And then those blister fingers advanced healing band-aids, they're their name are hydrocolloid. Basically, it's a product that looks hard, but basically when it gets in contact with heat, the body heat and some water and everything, it transforms itself in something different. But basically it would be like a little kit. So if you have like a hole in your wall, that's pretty much like what those band-aids do, is that they fill the hole and they transfer and they create that protection. But as well is they do more than just the Aquacel, because on their own they also protect and stuff. So it's like a little kit for patching holes. So that's why they're great for blisters. That's the main reason they're sell for, but that's why I use them as well for burns, as well as little cuts. So if you cut yourself from a knife or something like this, I wouldn't go straight to the Aquacel unless it's a major hole. But if it's a small hole, so if it's a small laceration, then the band-aid does a better job for that. And then finally, the Koban or the vet wrap or the 3M, depending on the pro, but usually they're sold under Koban. Basically, it's a self-adherent tape that you see here. It's like the duct tape of medical, is that it has multiple use. You can use it for different things, but mainly like to maintain the dressing in place, or even sometimes the reason I use them you could do a pressure dressing, so put pressure on the dressing to stop the bleeding, or also you can use them for just like they're used. So that's why the horse wear it, is to hold some stability. So you could use it for that purpose as well. So that was the little presentation, and I hope you liked it and that it was helpful. If you have any questions, just put that question down and I'll talk to you.